Do you mind if I mention the words method acting?
Well, not at all. I get, Dick, I get that thrown up at me quite a bit. I'm really not quite sure what method means. I guess because of my training at the studio in New York, my mumbling is my own problem. I just, I just haven't been able to enunciate.
Well, actually, when you were accepted in this famed school, it was quite a turning point of your career and certainly a thrill for you, wasn't it?
Oh, boy. Yeah, I was living on a cold water flat on the 3rd Avenue Well and, working all night and going to school all day. And at the time, I guess it doesn't seem much now, but at the time, they were accepting something like 4 out of 2,000 people a year, to be accepted in the studio. And it was free, and you could go 3 days a week. And, this was like finding the rainbow, So when they accepted me in the studio, it was a great turning point in my career.
Well, did they accept you, in other words, to get into the studio is quite a job. It's not a political thing, is it?
Oh,
It's
no,
strictly
no.
ability.
Well, you have to do 2 auditions. And the first audition, if they like it, they accept you back for the second audition. And you do the second audition. If they like that, then you're in the studio. And, of course, once you're in, you're always in.
I was talking with somebody who was an executive of one of the studios, and they said that you're one of the few people that have survived television, and the banks, quote, will lend money on because of your box office name. Is there any secret in this, or do you think it's just because you've worked very hard? Many people, of course, that have had TV series do not continue in feature films.
I don't know much about that. I'll tell you the truth, Dick. To me, it's just luck. I think perhaps I was very lucky. I work very hard at my craft, but so does everybody else in the world,
Speaking of work on your craft, I mean, like tonight you'll go home, and will you do any more work on tomorrow's script, or do you try to put it away and then think of it the next day?
No, unfortunately, I can never drop it. I go to bed with it. I've got to meet the director after work, and we've got 3 hours work, and then after that, I've got to sit down and work on the script of the next picture I'm doing and so forth. So I get to bed about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I get up at 6.
Do you have any methods that you use to get your characterization? Do you actually live the character?
Yeah, I try and, as feeble an attempt as I can do, I try very hard to try and get it out of myself so that I'm not, I don't like acting when it's playing house, I believe that I try to extract out of my life the same reality that I'm existing in if I'm working, Other than that, I just try to keep my kids out of the den so I can get some work done.
They're pretty grown up now, aren't they?
Well, they're getting big. My little girl is, I'm at the point now where I can't come up with all the answers, and she's throwing them at me, and I can't think of any answers, so she's getting big enough.
Well, what do they say when they see you on TV?
Well, I play that down quite a bit. I just, this is a very private thing with me, but I try and keep my children out of the public eye as much as possible, only because I think that they should have a fair chance to decide what they want to do with their lives. So I never push that up. I'm just an old slob father.
The typical dad, huh?
Yeah.
Actually, the turning point of your career was with Never So Few, the picture with Sinatra, is that right? He helped you in your career quite a bit.
Frank, yeah, well, Frank and the director, John Sturgis, don't forget him. John wanted me in the picture, and Frank okayed it, and when we did the picture, of course, he handed it to me. So he is greatly responsible for what I did in that movie.
Pretty nice guy. In other words, if he likes a guy, he's going to help him quite a bit.
I have a great admiration for him as a person, as for an actor.
I read in some column they were trying to prevent you from racing. Was this true?
Yeah, they were, but I just... I understand the problem, but, I see, the problem here, man, is you got to be happy. If you're not happy, you might as well chuck the whole business. And I don't picture myself as being dangerous or anything, but I never thought that sports car racing was that dangerous. It's as dangerous as you make it. It's terribly important to me. It's an important emotional outlet, and I plan on doing it, and I don't plan on stopping until I make the decision to stop.
Well, physically, you keep yourself in pretty good shape. Huh?
Yeah, I don't drink, and I smoke very little. And I try and keep in good shape. I work out a lot, and my wife's a good cook, and my kids keep me busy, so I'm trying to be about as healthy a guy as I can. I just thought about something, I've calmed down so much that I'm sitting here on this interview, and I notice, I'm sitting here looking at all these people here, and I think, that 2 years ago, I was really a wild guy, and I'm sitting here thinking what marriage life and kids have done for me. I really calmed down. I guess you call it growing up.